I purchased an existing company about 4.5 years ago. So the business Computer Recycling was started 10 or 15 years ago, and I came across it by chance dropping off some electronic waste, and it was owned by a husband and wife that had run it for a number of years, but it was unique in the way that they were processing and reporting and things, and so it was a bit of a computer junkyard. And then over about a 12-month courting period, I managed to purchase the business, and then I relocated it and its 7 or 8 staff to a new facility or a new site in Alfred Street over in Onehunga. And then from there, I kind of started the growth trajectory of, I purchased 2 or 3 additional companies, also went through quite a rigorous compliance process, and implemented a heap of new systems and protocols. And then we were able to receive a $1.5 million funding grant from the government, which was a significant catalyst for us to bring in some new machinery. And it's the only thing of its kind in New Zealand, and it's one of only 8 machines which shred and optically separate electronic waste. Big challenge is, this is a completely unlegislated and unregulated market. It's filled with operators who fly below the line of compliance, I guess. So because there's no legislation or need for people to dispose of this sort of material in an environmentally and sustainable manner, you're competing against every man and their dog. So we have to work very hard to create a robust point of difference, and also make sure that we are charging adequately, making sure that our downstreams, or where our material goes for further refining, is profitable for our business unit. So that's quite a big challenge. As we're the only country in the OECD that doesn't have this legislation, there's no product stewardship in place. So overseas, manufacturers would pay into a fund whereby an allocation of that fund would be returned to the recyclers in order to cover costs and make sure compliance is met and that sort of thing. So we do it in what's called a voluntary way. So that's the biggest challenge for us. There will be government legislative change in the next 2 to 3 years, I would say, but it is quite slow moving. We are a small, isolated nation, so it is a tricky balance. We don't have a huge amount of sway with the manufacturers when it comes to dictating terms. Once the electronic waste has been collected and is returned to our facility here in Penrose, it will go into what we call the sorting area. So first it gets weighed in against a customer file, so everything is tracked. So there's an ERP system and a CRM that allows us to track all the activity for the customers, or the location, or where it's coming from. And then there's a team of hand sorters. So everything, all the grading is done by hand. And because the material is so mixed and contains batteries and fire risk and other nasty contaminants, you can't just feed it all into a shredder. So once it's graded by hand, it will then go to one of 3 departments. There's the IT technicians, who will refurbish, re-engineer, reload software ready for it to be resold or remarketed. Then there's the hand dismantling. So again, by manual labour, by hand, the equipment will be hand dismantled and then categorised into the different grades of material, whether it be copper-based, aluminium-based, stainless steel-based, printed circuit board-based, which is our target material, or general steel, ferrous metals. Then the third bay is then the mechanical separation and processing, which is the blue box. So those items will be fed into the shredder. The output from the shredder will then be loaded into the optical sorter and then sorted and graded into the different material types. And then from there, it then goes to our third party downstream vendors for it to be further recycled and processed.